Patrons, what is going on? I have not forgot about you. I've been very late last month's vlog to get it posted, and I do apologize for that. There's a story I'm going to tell you guys that very soon about sort of what behind the scenes took me out for a good few days, and it really sent a shock to my core. And I did announce on Twitter, and so many people messaged me afterwards. It was so nice of you guys who sent me a personal text and just asked me if I was okay. But before we just talk about that, it's like, this is what's going on here. It's chaos. We just finished the Radeon 5700 review, and that came in first. And so I didn't get time to test it until, because all this other stuff went down. I wanted to get Zen 2 covered, and I still managed to get Zen 2 covered. But I decided to test that with the retail release driver because I thought it would just be better. And my super samples literally came like 2 days ago. Apparently they got sent to a guy in Adelaide, and then NVIDIA were like, okay, we'll just send you directly to your house. And I was like, okay, great, thanks. I guess it's like literally, it's not the first time NVIDIA's sent me something way past NDA date, but it was cool anyway. I'm really grateful to get anything sent, to be honest, so it doesn't really bother me. But it's cool because we got that coming soon, the super review. And one thing, like I will say, is one thing with these Founders cards now, the build quality is actually really damn good. So this card here, I did critique it a little bit in my review for not having a back plate. And like, I mean, let me know, let us know in the comments, guys. Like if you're in the market for, say, a 2060 Super or a 5700 XT. I mean, the XT, I haven't got that yet. And I was kind of like, I asked AMD even if I could just get a loan sample for that. I would have loved to have thrown that in the comparison, because I think for that extra $50, I think it's much better value than the 5700, because you do get a better built card and it performs much better. So that's kind of like my thinking there, because the 2060 Super for that extra $50 performs a little bit better, has a better build quality, but then the XT will have all that too and probably perform better. But we got here a massive rubbish pile. There is just so much stuff going on there. It's ridiculous. I got to clean it out soon. Now here's where the story begins, because we got a heap of RX 570s off a miner in, he was at about 40-minute drive from where I was, and he was cleaning out some cards, and I went out and picked them up, and he said, so I've just got a few RX 570s and stuff, and he said, this is where this crazy story begins, and I'll have to sit down and talk to you guys about it. When I went to pick it up, he had a heap of stuff, and so he said, do you want to pay me in Bitcoin? And so this is where it all began. He said, do you want to pay us in Bitcoin? And I said, sure. Like, I've got a bit of Bitcoin, actually. I had 2 Bitcoin that I've traded over the last year and a bit. I've traded it up by, I used to do the Zencash thing, and I sold that off. And then from there, I sort of, when Bitcoin crashed, I actually bought some cryptocurrency and had that. I was sort of trading that and building it up. And little beknownst to me, I didn't realize that the exchange I was on had some, I don't know, it just had some horror stories going on there. There were some serious horror stories. And the place was called, I mean, I don't know if I should name them, because they did come through for me in the end. Like this exchange did come through and essentially sent my money over to another Aussie exchange where they can change it over into Aussie dollars. But they did come through for me. So I don't know if I don't want to slander them at all, because at the end of the day, I'm over it all. Like, I'm done. But basically this exchange was, there were some horror stories out there on Google, and where people just had their balances just vanish, and people had to get verified, and like not even just verified, like they would ask where the cryptocurrency came from, and some of this stuff was impossible to trace. And when I read up about that, my heart sank, because I got verified on this exchange, and then what happened was after that, I tried to get my money to another exchange, because I started reading up on the horror stories and stuff. And then like they said, oh, you need to change your password. So I did, and then I had to wait 72 hours before I could withdraw any money. Sort of like, I'm flipping out, because I got 2 Bitcoin on this exchange that I've worked so hard to trade up over the last year. And when I did that, I was just like, damn, because the reality like sank in that this Bitcoin had actually Bitcoin's gone up a lot since when I traded and sort of built it up. it was literally like worth like over $30,000 worth of Bitcoin. And this is Australian, so in America I think it was like 23,000 USD. And I was shaking because damn, like the reality set in that your money on cryptocurrency is not yours if it's not in your wallet and it's on this exchange. And I started to get really nervous. And I just, Tuesday morning, I woke up and that's when the 72-hour thing lifted, because at the same time, they wanted me to enable two-factor authentication. And I enabled that, and it was just so dodgy because the two-factor authentication didn't work on this site. Like I'm putting in my two-factor authentication, it didn't work. And so I had some backup key that I used, and thankfully that worked. But anyway, I started transferring the money. The first thing I did was pay the guy because I was late to pay him the Bitcoin. He said, sure, we'll hold out. Hopefully this 72-hour thing does work, because he really wanted to get paid in Bitcoin. And I got that first withdrawal done. I was like, oh, thank God. He got the 0.075 Bitcoin. That's what I paid him for all this mining gear. And then I got the rest of my 1.92-ish Bitcoin out of the exchange to another place. And when that second withdrawal came through and it was confirmed, I was just so relieved. It was like, wow, okay. The reality of that sank in, that, with cryptocurrency, it's like all the horror stories you read out there, they can happen. Like it's not regulated, it's not secure, and it's so hard to trust an exchange on that, because apparently all these volumes you see on different sites are all botted and fake. And so it's sort of like, whoa, like that was just something I was sweating over. And I just thanked the guy after I did that. Now I'm actually friends with the guy I bought the mining stuff off. He was such a genuine guy. And I think in hindsight, like things were meant to happen, because like if I hadn't met him, I would have been oblivious to my cryptocurrency on this exchange. He sort of told me, he's like, what's the exchange on? I told him, and he said, dude, like he started researching for me. He's like, dude, get your money off that exchange. And so everything's worked out now anyway, but his name was Alistair. He's up from sort of Brisbane way, South Brisbane. And it just ended up working out really well. I've saved his number in my phone. We're good friends. We're going to go hang out, have a beer, have some dinner. I'm going to go shout him up dinner and get him some drinks, because he could have potentially saved me a complete disaster, because I cannot afford to lose that kind of money. And that's when the reality sunk in on how, I guess, maybe dumb I was, or like you didn't take it for granted, because the Bitcoin that I had just started shooting up in the last couple of months and I didn't think anything of it. But sure, like that Bitcoin probably didn't cost me, $23,000 to trade and whatever, but that's the value that you have to lose. Like when you lose that money, that's your money, but you lose it. It doesn't matter if it's easy come or easy go kind of thing. It was just, yeah, that was the story. And so, man, it was like, I was sweating those 3 days, like that 72-hour password reset thing. I was just sweating, because that time I was like, oh, am I going to lose my money? And I was like, wow, because I cannot afford to take a hit like that. And I don't actually know anyone who can afford to take a kind of hit like that. It's devastating. Last time I lost that kind of money was in the 2008 crash. And that was a sad thing. I actually lost some of my ex-girlfriend's money too. She was such a nice person. And so after that happened in 2008, just came out of university. We'd both worked hard for a year, saved up money together, and we both started investing in stock, and it just went to crap. I guess I did hint at that story in the i3 video, but I didn't tell the full story there. And that was when I lost quite a bit of money on that 2008 stock crash. But that was different because I didn't get scammed. That was my own poor decision making, in that I picked bad stocks. I'd read news articles that told me to get these stocks, and I picked bad stocks. And it was a good learning process for me. It took me a while to work back that money, and obviously pay my ex back, and but it all worked out in the end. And so that was a good lesson I learned. I was actually thankful for that in hindsight. But this time around, it was like I'd done my research on this exchange. I'd looked around, but I guess in the last year, this exchange has gone to crap, and I wasn't aware of that. Like, that's the thing. I just wasn't aware of it because I didn't go think to double check and go research this exchange again. So that was the sort of the thing that I missed. So anyway, that is just the crazy story on what has shaken me over the last week. And I'm glad it hasn't let me, hopefully it hasn't let me, hasn't allowed me to sort of come out on the camera and affect the reviews in the Tech S City, because I always want to give the best videos on the channel there and make sure the content's always cracking. I hope it has been. Let us know in the comments if you guys think the content's been good. But another good thing is I'm starting to exercise again. Sort of like one thing that came out of that is I just needed to exercise, and exercise sort of, for me, it's like stress relief now. And it's sort of, during that time I was exercising a bit and I got used to exercising again. So lately I've been getting a bit lazy, but now I'm getting back on it and I'm like, yeah, I feel a lot better. So the videos are coming hard. We're going to get the Super videos done, the RTX Super. I really want to get the XT though, the 5700 XT, to compare that against the Super, because I think it's going to be super relevant. This Super acronym or Super naming schemes got me saying Super. So the cards were super late, Super comparison, this, that. But besides the graphics cards, we got more Zen 2 content coming, and I think that is really, really exciting, because AMD have done something really good for enthusiasts. Not only have they been improving their product every single year, they've finally come out on top with bigger IPC than Intel. And I think for Intel, they should take a step back. And I don't know if it's like a pride thing or something like that, because they should have seen the 10 nanometer wasn't going to work well in advance and maybe made a desktop SKU for the 7 nanometer. Because obviously they could have got 4.3 gigahertz on all cores with much better IPC as well, and then you would have had good competition in the market, and of course much better power efficiency. So Intel, like, yes, they still do win in gaming, especially the 9900K at 5 gigahertz, but the power consumption difference is huge, and the IPC improvements on Zen 2 really make it worthwhile. One thing that did come out of my main review was I was looking back at the numbers and I was like, damn, the i5-9400F is really good. And everyone I spoke to behind the scenes is thinking the same thing. It's like, man, that i5-9400F, it goes hard. You know, I copped a lot of crap for doing a sponsored video where I featured the i5-9400F, but I wouldn't have done that sponsored video if I didn't believe the i5-9400F was capable of gaming. And when you couple it with the NVIDIA, I think it was the 1660 Ti, that's got the new latest codec, which it's just a really perfect combo for low power efficiency that can still stream. So that's the benefits there. But yeah, like that i5-9400F, man, that was going hard. And of course with Zen 2, I like the 3700X. That's my favorite CPU. The 12 core is good, but when it boils down to it, how many gamers are going to use a 12 core? Because the differences were nothing. And sometimes the 3700X was slightly better than the 12 core. Slightly better. I did notice that. And so that would be my pick for mainstream gaming and even video editing, because 8-core 16 threads is real. If you get into video editing or heavy work, and you then get better and better at it, where you know your time is then worth that more money, then that's when I think you can warrant getting the 12 core. But at that stage, you're probably better off waiting for the 16 core, which is going to be phenomenal. So that's kind of like, I think the 12 core is kind of, the more I look at it and the more I think of it, it's going to become irrelevant, I think, because it's sort of not going to hit the mark, where if someone needs those extra cores, they're going to go for that 16 core. And then for mainstream people who just want to stream, game, whatever, the 8 core is going to be perfect. I'm going to get on, I've got the 6 core over there, I'm going to get onto that and start testing that out for you guys. That's going to be really interesting. I think the 16 core is going to hit really hard. The 6 core. The 6 core is going to hit really hard, especially with an A320. That's sort of like where I'm going with that. I want to test out the price performance. But other than that, Zen 2 is hitting really hard. The XT graphics card, I really want to test that. The 5700 was good, but I thought the build quality, like they could have got a back plate on it, and like, you know, that extra $50 I feel is way better spent on the XT than the 5700, at least from what I'm seeing from other people's numbers. I want to test it myself. The super cards are decent. I guess the Radeon series with the price cuts are kind of putting a lot of pressure on NVIDIA, and I know that. I can see that. So I wonder if NVIDIA is going to further yet cut their prices, which on the RTX Silicon, I don't think they can, because of course the cost of making that bigger die. So that's really interesting. Anyway, good times ahead. This year is starting. I think this year, in terms of competition and enthusiasm, is just starting. Towards the end of the month, I'm going to have some used price performance comparisons versus the new Zen 2 stuff, so stay tuned for that. Just getting ahead of schedule, finally back on track. We'll just go with that. In terms of making the regular content again, I had to get myself good to get the content good first. And then other than that, we've got a lot coming next month too. I'll try and get the vlog out earlier, but there's some really good news, and that is my little boy is coming over from Japan to come and see us. I haven't seen him for over a year now, and he's going to be in Australia for the first time, like first proper time. Like last time he was like 1 year and like 8 months old, so he doesn't remember it all, and we're only here for a little stint. But this time he's coming for like nearly 2 weeks, so I'm going to just take him around everywhere. I'm going to spoil him and just really just show him a lot of love. So can't wait for that. This vlog has been pretty huge. I mean, I've talked a lot this time around. I think I've got everything out of the way. And there was some other, that's pretty, there's a lot of X570 motherboard reviews coming too, so there's going to be a lot of different tests, reviews. It's going to be busy, especially until the start of next month, and that's when my boy comes over. So I'm going to get a heap of content just done now. I'm going in full throttle the rest of this month, and I will make a vlog probably like later this month for this month, because this month's vlog is kind of like last month's vlog. But anyway, guys, if you have any questions at any time, be sure to drop them in the comment section below. And also, if you have any special requests as well for videos you guys want to see, then make sure you let us know, and I'll try and make it happen. No promises, but there's a lot on the plate. But also, just want to thank each and every one of you for your support as well. I really appreciate it. And just things are going good. Things are going good now, but the scary story with that was still sort of shook me up. And yeah, I thought, damn, you know, that was really scary. Now, I guess the last thing is, in terms of trading, maybe there's some talent there that I have in terms of FX trading, but, you know, I haven't really explored it yet, because you do need a big balance to trade that kind of thing and do it as a job. And I only really delve in it here and there, and it's ironic because I sold those Bitcoins, and the price of Bitcoin's going down now. Who knows how far down it will go, but just seeing those trades, after watching it for a while, you can start to see how it moves, kind of thing. And I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know these things, but hey, if any of you guys know how to trade, I'd love to talk and listen. So, but yeah, I'll catch you guys in another tech video very soon, and also in another vlog later this month. And this one's been a big one. I'll catch you next time. Peace out for now. Bye.